Hello and welcome. The goal of this podcast is to get listeners connected with others in the sports industry because they say it's all about who you know, and now you know us. All right, hello and welcome everybody to another episode of the Constant Sports Podcast. We have a fun episode today. We'll be talking about football, American soccer, as they say, European football. Conversation with Ben and Tom here from 2B Sports. Dive into some entrepreneurial stuff with Ben and Tom. They're the co-founders of 2B Sports, and that is a sports consulting firm that helps propel football clubs, associations, other entities to new heights, both on and off the field. So thanks for joining us today, Ben and Tom.
Thank you very much for the invitation, Connor. Looking forward to speaking a bit about football, American soccer, and kind of our journey of 2B Sports and also our individual path so far.
Yeah,
Yeah,
look
awesome.
forward to it.
Hello, guys. And yeah, thanks for having us, Connor.
Of course, anytime. And so we'll kind of just start, and maybe you guys can give us a background of how the idea came to be about 2B Sports, what inspired it, as you both have kind of grown up in the space, but then also becoming entrepreneurs and how that has shaped your career.
Yeah, so we're long friends. We started playing football together in the early ages, I think, with 9, and played soccer together for a couple years and became really close friends. And after our path kind of went in different directions, we always kept in touch. And then ending of 2023, we had good talks about, in general, we exchanged ideas about the football industry and thought, why not do our own thing? Because we kind of saw a big opportunity in the consulting space and strategy consulting area. And, we always dreamt about being our own boss. And since we're both still students, we thought we don't have much risk in opening our own business and, exchanged ideas. And this led to the founding of 2B Sports in February of 2024.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what Tom said. I think, yeah, like our background as a football player just gives us many insights from the club perspective, but also, yeah, combined with our studies in the management and economics field, kind of leads us to the general interest in the sports sector. And I think, yeah, we can combine those two things with 2B Sports perfectly. Yeah, kind of just combining our hobby, our interests in football with the work from 2B Sports.
So you both have a background in football, and with Ben, your background in management and economics over there in Austria, and then Tom's obviously acumen over here with football, and or soccer for the American listeners, and then obviously in business management. So it's the finance, business management side of it, and then joining those two passions, obviously with sports and business together. And as you've built up your consulting practice, what I guess is or maybe some companies within the football industry slash teams that you're looking to connect with, and kind of what value would you be bringing?
Yeah, I think yeah, some clubs we might get an example with. Yeah, and also having good contacts. Me in Austria, having some persons working in the football industry for years that we kind of get as a mentor, kind of showing us, yeah, what's important in the industry for us too. Like, yeah, we're very new, and also Tom having good contacts in the US. Yeah, just building up a network, just kind of connecting with different people, not just people from clubs, also people from other consulting agencies, yeah, people from the sports business in general, and just, yeah, kind of getting the most knowledge you can get and try to develop 2B Sports.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think the big advantage we have that we cover a lot of different countries already, which not a lot of consulting agencies can say about themselves, especially the connection we have to the US and also then the German DACH region, how you call it, which is Austria, Switzerland, and Germany. And having this connection, yeah, is a big advantage for us and also a huge opportunity Yeah, since the US soccer market is a really growing market with the World Cup coming up, and you see that there's more revenue exchanged each year, and yeah, with new expansion teams, it's really exciting to see the process of the MLS and but also the lower leagues evolving and going further.
Yeah, well, and I want to touch on that a little bit as you both mentioned, obviously with Tom here in the States and then Ben overseas, you have kind of a global reach. And where have you seen the football market grow, over in Europe and obviously in the States, as you mentioned with the World Cup coming up and the smaller leagues? How do you see it continuing to grow? Maybe more leagues, more teams, relegation, those types of things, and how that will affect your business?
I mean, definitely there will be more games hosted in the future, which is not maybe not the best thing, especially with players already yeah, arguing about it and saying they might protest against this many games since it's not that good for their bodies. But also in 2025, you have the FIFA Club World Cup coming up in the United States as well, which is, yeah, more games, and more games also every time means more revenue for each club. So for me, what I think foreseeing the future is that smaller clubs will have a way bigger challenge to face regarding their revenue streams. As big clubs, they have way more games. With the international competition, they get way more revenue, way more money in from broadcasting, from all sorts of media deals. So yeah, I see the challenge for the smaller clubs in the professional leagues to be a big challenge in the next years. And also I see a big, yeah, opportunity for investors to come into sports, come into soccer specific. We've seen many famous people like Tom Brady investing in Birmingham and having shares there. Ryan Reynolds in Wrexham over in England as well. But also in the US, you see more and more people getting invested in soccer specifically. Yeah, since they notice it's a big and growing market, and the limits in the US are not endless, but they're really high. You have the US soccer system that's a little bit complicated and yeah, kind of limits your opportunities a bit. But I believe that there will be more and more investors coming into the franchises, but also I think we can see more multi-club ownerships in the future.
Yeah, maybe not only regarding the US and Europe, but maybe also having markets like Africa, Asia, India, yeah, where we have a lot of potential, where we as 2B Sports also see us in the future, kind of, yeah, having clubs in those countries, in those leagues. Um, yeah, I think there's a lot of potential in football, and yeah, you just kind of have to use it.
Yeah, no, for sure. And we've seen the growth and whatnot, and kind of speaking on the future and whatnot with, Tom, as you were mentioned, the investment in sports with famous athletes. Do you see that continuing to grow, obviously within the next 5 to 10 years, or do you see, some athletes, maybe putting on pause and going into other sports or pickleball and things like that, or do you see soccer continuing to take kind of the lion's share of the investments?
I mean, to be honest, I think that soccer is probably the most sustainable investment opportunity out there. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of movement around pickleball, excuse me, but yeah, I think soccer is the most sustainable one. Since we don't know how trends are evolving around a sport like pickleball, if it's still trendy in 5 or 10 years. So I believe that soccer, with the structures they already have, each club, each league, that is the most sustainable and the most smart investment for yeah, potential celebrities, investors, multi-club ownership groups, and yeah, etc. So I believe that soccer is probably the main investment opportunity in the recent years. But I mean, you can also see that, for example, American football is a huge growing market in Germany, especially. So I guess you'll also see a lot of investors heading into those sports. Yeah, but I believe that soccer is the most fast-paced growing sport, especially in America, but also all over the world.
Definitely. And then as I wanted to ask you, you two both kind of on the youth side of sports. Obviously, we're talking about professional leagues and teams, but with youth sports, hitting a big market, especially in the States with, baseball, football, soccer, etc., really seeing an explosion there. Do you see that much in Europe and the European countries? Is the youth, I guess, soccer/football scene growing as much as it is in the States, or what do you see on that front?
Yeah, I think also in Europe, I think you have the main focus on the football industry. I think also more than in the US, because
Mhm.
I think the other sports are not that, yeah, that popular as in the States. I think in Austria you have a bit like the hockey field, the ice hockey, but yeah, football is of course the main thing. Um, yeah, and I think, yeah, coming back to the point of the potential, I think also when it's a kind of a big market already and you have a lot of clubs, yeah, there's still a lot of potential also in Europe and also in the other markets. And I think also it's, yeah, you have the when you see the future potential, there's a lot you can do in the football industry for all kind of persons there. And yeah, I think it's the potential is endless.
Mhm.
Yeah, I believe as well that Europe is a very saturated market already. You have so many young kids joining a football club each year, but especially in the US, I just read a studies in the last couple days where they foresee a growth of 30% of the people joining soccer clubs after the World Cup or during the World Cup. So that's going to have an immense impact on the kids in soccer. Yeah, but also, yeah, all the other aspects about the sport.
Definitely. And then as revenue is obviously one of the most important things to a business, to a league, to a team, things like that. So what, are some, I guess, core concepts or pillars that lead or teams rather should be looking for when they're trying to expand their revenue operations, kind of in the football world?
Yeah, I think maybe like kind of looking to our recent project in the US where we have a club which wants to move up to the USL Championship into the second league. Yeah, we already had some talks with potential investors, and a very big point is like kind of the facility.
Hmm.
The facility adds a lot of value to the club, which you can use just beside from the sports part, from the football part. You can use the facility for other events. You can build housing, you can build commercials. That's a very big point. Um, and I think also in Europe, the facility thing is a very big point. Yeah, and also just kind of building up the community, having a big fan base, improve the fan engagement, yeah, and therefore get the revenue streams out of the fan base. Yeah, and also the facility thing, which brings a lot of revenue streams as well.
Definitely. And
Yeah,
then go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm on the same page with Ben here. Also, media and broadcasting is another big point, which brings in revenue streams. Like I mentioned before, obviously, as a European club, if you play in international competition in the Champions League, there's way more people watching those games. So it's very attractive for those clubs to compete international, and they get much more revenue. But also, yeah, for the smaller clubs, I think media in general, how you market your club, I think there is a lot of potential with our generation, especially where you can host events and create good marketing campaigns that brings you more revenue.
Hmm. Yeah, well, and touching on the business side of it, what as far as kind of challenges go, what are some of the challenges football clubs face today, from a business perspective, teams, leagues, etc.
Well, I think, for example, the inflation that we all face as consumers, but that's a big point for all the football clubs as well.
Hmm.
And then kind of touching base on the point I mentioned before, which is probably the main risk or challenge that clubs face on the business side of things is to stay competitive.
Yeah.
which means to compete with the big clubs that get more revenue. So how do you compete as a smaller club in the same league as, Bayern, Real Madrid, and all those clubs that makes billions of revenues each year? So the financial gap is getting bigger and bigger. So smaller clubs have to be creative into making more revenue and staying competitive, which also that we touched base on the youth academy is a big point, where they have to focus on that. But then also in general, financial stability, debt management, and also the volatility of the transfer market, which all plays a big role and is a big challenge moving forward.
Right, right.
Coming back to the competitiveness and the thing of remaining competitive, I think when you see the trends now in football with all the multi-club ownerships and the investment groups, I think it's a very important decision for a club if the club wants to get in a multi-club ownership or wants to get a big investor, with the problem of maybe losing kind of the loyalty from the fan base, um, when they don't support like this multi-club ownership or the investment group. And yeah, kind of this balance of having the financial stability and also having the fan engagement and the fan base.
Hmm. Yeah, agreed 100%. And then as for those who don't follow you guys' LinkedIn page, you guys had a post about a week or so ago, I believe it was, and it was talking about the expansion of the San Diego FC, I believe. And I it was a record-breaking like $500 million deal or something, expansion fee for the team. So talk to the listeners and viewers about that, and obviously about the post if you want to dive into that as well. But how that shows obviously future success and the that record-breaking expansion fee being what it is.
Yeah, we thought that's a really interesting topic to share with our followers. As we look a lot into the MLS and the US as a growing market, and FC San Diego joining the franchise is really interesting. And we've seen the development of the franchise fee getting more and more. And the MLS currently stands at 30 teams. And when you compare it to the other US franchises like the NBA, MLS, NHL, you name it, they have all 32 franchises, which means, yeah, the MLS has two more spots available. And yeah, we're excited who takes those spots, and then especially also who can invest so much money, as the expansion fee will not go down. It
Mhm.
will probably be around 600, 700 million maybe. So it will be interesting to see who will join the league and who has the money, especially, and also their plans, as the application process is really thorough. San Diego did a really good job, and well, we're excited how they're gonna compete next MLS season.
Where do you think you mentioned there's two possible openings? Where do you see it in the U.S. market two teams being added if I put you on the spot here?
Probably, to be honest, Las Vegas.
Okay.
They're a big growing sport market. I've also read about something in Indianapolis that they might be interested in getting another soccer franchise. But yeah, I think if you have a good plan, then anywhere you can really set something up. And there's also a couple new expansion teams joining the USL Championship. Maybe they want to make the move in the next years up in the MLS as well. So yeah, we're just excited who takes those spots and yeah, completes the franchise.
Yeah. As you guys have started this entrepreneurial journey, creating your consulting firm and whatnot, to speak to the listeners and viewers about what that's looked like, starting a company and working together side by side and kind of building a business.
Yeah, I think the start is always a bit hard. After our first thoughts about having our own business, you have to get all the legal things done. We did this in Germany because our company is also based in Germany. And then I think the start is kind of, you just have to getting started. You have to outreach. Yeah, we had a lot of contact with clubs. Then you have like the first calls. You have calls with possible partners. Yeah, it's a lot of work you have to do. And yeah, in the first months, you don't have any income. It's just work, 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 but you don't get money. But yeah, when you kind of see the first money coming, having the first contracts with clubs, yeah, you're very happy, and you kind of see the results you get when you work hard.
Yeah, I feel like that as well, for anyone out there who wants to do something that they're passionate about, we feel it ourselves. It's a lot of hard work and, long nights and a lot of calls and waking up early, but in the end, we're super happy. Obviously, we're still a very young company, but the growth we've experienced so far already since, officially founding our business in March, since now, was amazing. It was an amazing journey so far, and yeah, we're looking forward to, yeah, kind of increasing our company in that same pace. And yeah, it's really exciting how many professionals we already spoke to and experts. And yeah, we just hope that we'll keep working so hard and so passionate about it. And yeah, then we don't see any problems about moving forward and being very successful in the future.
Mhm. Well, then as you move forward, is there, regarding business, is there a certain, market, I guess, as Ben, you're alluding to, Asia, the States, obviously, Europe, that you would dive into more than another, or does it just kind of happen to be where a team or league is?
Yeah, I think as you said, it kind of it's where the club needs us. I think yeah, having the business in the US is very helpful. Also with the US market growing and growing and having a lot of teams. But also there's still some room in Europe, Scandinavia, the Netherlands, Belgium. Yeah, and also the markets in India and Africa, as I mentioned before. Yeah, I think we're not in the markets now, but yeah, we will see what comes in the future. And I think all the markets are very, very interesting for us. And I think, yeah, when you see the opportunity, you just have to take it and then yeah, kind of see what the future brings. But I think we're open to all clubs worldwide. Yeah, and that's I think one goal of 2B Sports for the future, to just get a worldwide network with clubs and yeah, building up the brand.
Yeah, I believe as well, with the world being globalized at a rapid pace, if you have a club in the US, you can also just connect it to another club, as we see, for example, the City Football Group, which is a multi-club ownership, and they have multiple clubs all over the world, which we see a huge benefit in. So this is an exciting new trend we see in soccer or football. So we think that that might be a good opportunity to connect different clubs all over the globe and have a kind of interchangeable system of, players, staff, ideas, information, which can lead to a huge benefit and advantage for those clubs in a multi-club ownership.
Yeah, well, and can you break that down just quickly, maybe for the viewers and listeners who aren't familiar with kind of a multi-club ownership, how that would look like, and just maybe a possible example or so?
Yeah, so for example, the City Football Group, which is probably the most famous and the most successful multi-club ownership out there, they have Melbourne City FC, New York City FC, Girona, which is in Spain. So the first two were in Australia,
Mhm.
US, Spain, and then obviously the main one in England as well. And this system allows them to transfer young talents. They've just signed a player from Girona, which was doing really good last year in Spain, and now he's playing for Manchester City, which is obviously their main club. And it just allows a lot of information flow between all the different clubs and helps each clubs to see kind of what the other club is doing. I've seen Pep Guardiola in New York City giving advice to them and kind of mentoring them in their day-to-day training. So yeah, I think it's a great opportunity basically to have clubs all over the world and to have kind of an interchangeable system and transferable system. They kind of all work the same way from a day-to-day basis, but also from a business perspective. Which I see a lot of benefit in.
Yeah. Yeah, regarding this multi-club ownership thing, it's all about using the synergies you have between the clubs. I think for the groups, it's kind of important to balance which clubs you have in your portfolio. That you kind of use those synergies in a very good way. That you have maybe clubs in different countries, in different continents, but also in different leagues. That you kind of can use this as a platform for talents, but also coaches that can maybe exchange, that can look into the other club, and also kind of creating a unique and also, kind of playing style that you want to implement in all the clubs. But beside the synergies you use, just see every club on his own and not just seeing the group, but also, just looking at the club on itself, and also, just balance this thing again.
Yeah, makes sense. And I think the synergy is one of the more important keys, obviously, to business and strategy and moving forward and making sure everyone's on the same page, especially when you're working with, multiple teams in multiple countries and continents and things like that. And as we are about to wrap up here, Ben and Tom, I guess I'll just give you the floor to share any last thoughts on your business, on the sports industry, anything like that.
As 2B Sport is growing, we hope to get more clients excited for our business, and we hope to grow personally, but also as a business. Hope to be global one day, find more partners, find more experts that we can, exchange ideas with, and hope everyone liked the episode.
Yeah. Also, maybe for other young adults in our age, maybe also being a student, just if you want to do something, just do it. It's a lot of work, but I think at the end you will enjoy and you will be proud of what you kind of achieved. And I'm also looking forward to the future of 2B Sports. What we can achieve in the future, which clubs we can cooperate with, and also thank you for the podcast, Connor. And
Of course. And then where can our listeners find 2B Sports website, social media stuff? Where can they find and connect with you guys?
We have a LinkedIn page just called 2B Sports. We are also found on Instagram and have a website called www.2b-sports.com. Where everyone can check out our website, our services, find more about us personally, and hope to see you there.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll link that in the description and the bios and things, so the listeners and viewers can check that out as they listen and watch this episode. And thanks, Tom and Ben, for joining us today on the Constant Sports Podcast. And for the listeners and viewers, thanks for following us along this journey. And you can find this episode on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, anywhere you get your podcasts. And thanks again, Tom and Ben, for joining me today. And we'll talk to you guys soon.
Thanks for having us, Connor.
thank you, Connor. Good week.